my name is Madeline Cummings, and I did my historical figure paper on Dorothy Day. Dorothy Day was a social justice advocate. She fought for the rights of women and workers. She was arrested many times throughout her life for civil disobedience, fighting for the rights of others. She best fits into the social justice typology within Foster's tradition. In her early life, she was not a Christian. She attended church sparingly with her parents and was baptized when she was younger, but she was not active in her faith. When she became an adult, she did a lot of social justice work. She went to university for 2 years and after that left and began working at a newspaper as a writer. That's where she found her true passion was in writing. Her father was also a writer, which inspired her and her work later on in her life. Later in her life, she did find Catholicism and she found her faith, and through that she founded the Catholic Worker with her friend Peter, and they worked on advocating for the rights of Catholic workers and workers all alike. She was arrested many times throughout her lifetime. Her latest arrest before she passed was at age 75, fighting along with Cesar Chavez for the rights of farmers in California. The two works of hers that I analyzed were from the Catholic Worker. One was in the postscript for her autobiography, and they're about how it's the role of Christians that we're being called into fighting for the rights of others, and it's because God first loved us that we love others, and the way we show our loves is sacrificing ourselves for each other. And the first writing of hers that I read was about poverty and voluntary poverty, which is that sacrificing of oneself. And she talked about how we need to be sacrificing ourselves to become voluntary in poverty, which means to sacrifice yourself and give up the things that you enjoy so that you can give yourself to others. And it talks also about like capitalism and the role that that plays in poverty. And at this time it was in the 1930s, so coming off of the Great Depression, and talks about how there needs to be systematic change. That's one thing she really advocated for, was a systematic change to help the people in poverty get out of poverty, not only help them in the moment, but help fix the system that's keeping them there. That was a really important part of her work. And the other piece of literature of hers that I analyzed was The Final Say is Love, which is the postscript for her autobiography. And that basically goes into, in all that we do, do it out of love. And at the end of the day, love is the most important, to love God and to love others. And I think it perfectly summed up her life's work and how she really sacrificed herself, including her marriage, for her religion. She could have stayed in her marriage, but she knew that her religion and God was more important to her and for her daughter, that was the life that she wanted for her daughter. She separated from her husband after he decided that Catholicism just would not be something he was willing to sacrifice. He wasn't really willing to sacrifice going into religion for her. And she remained married to him for her entire life because of being a Catholic, but she sacrificed her love life for her religion and for her work and for her daughter. And I think she's a really good example of that social justice tradition of sacrificing yourselves for others and showing your love to God through others. Because we love God, we love others. And yeah, that was my paper on Dorothy Day, and I think she really exemplifies that social justice tradition.